This shot is my block of flats. You can see there actually is quite a difference here. I shot these with the wide angle lens. The iPhone 12 Pro goes down to a 0.5, whereas the Pixel 5 goes to a 0.6. The colours on the iPhone are a bit warmer, which the colours actually weren't. Some people will probably say it's a more satisfying image because people like warmer tones, but the colours were actually more muted like the Pixel has done. If you like to edit as well, the Pixel 5 is probably better here because you can adjust the colours more. Whites are better to work with than warmer tones. Zooming in on the back wooden panels, we can actually see that more detail has been kept in the Pixel 5. It's a bit sharper. You can see the ridges between the wood, whereas the iPhone 12 has softened it a bit more. So I think the Pixel 5 comes out on top here. But this is just my preference. Everyone will have their own. This is just the one I'm leaning more towards. So this is outside under some street lighting. I've got a nice photo of a bush here, and you can see there are some differences. The iPhone 12 has a bit greenier colours, and it's pulled more of the street light on the wall behind it. You can see it's a bit oranger. The Pixel 5 has actually muted down the colours, made it a bit lighter, and almost given the bush a bit more of a tealy blue colour to it. I think the background colours are slightly better on the iPhone 12. But the bush colour is better on the Pixel 5, which is a bit strange. On the iPhone 12, you can see there's almost like overexposure going on in the bush, whereas the Pixel 5 has kind of kept those highlights a bit better. I think the Pixel 5 takes this one. Here we have a wide shot of some bike racks. The colours, again, are different. The iPhone 12 Pro has made a warmer kind of tone to it, whereas the Pixel 5 is a bit whiter in colour. There's a slight purple halo around the lights on the Pixel 5 too. So the iPhone 12 wins this one for me. Again, with a zoomed in shot here, you can actually see the purple fuzz around the light a lot more on the Pixel 5 here. It's struggling a bit with the contrast of light. The iPhone 12 definitely takes the win here. It's a lot more detailed and it's kept the colours a lot better. The iPhone 12 though does have a dedicated zoom camera where the Pixel 5 doesn't. It's all software. Here we have a nice building with night mode on. Really, you can't really tell much of a difference here. They're both really good, pulling together really well. The colours are really nicely lit. If anything, I'd say the iPhone is slightly more saturated, but they're both equally as good as each other. I'd be happy with either one. So a flash test. We took a photo of a nice pink flower with flash on to see how it handle the colours. And I think the iPhone 12 Pro has done a better job at lighting the scene. You can see a bit more detail on the petals here. It's a bit brighter. They're not as lit. Colours seem to be more muted as well on the Pixel 5. Like the greens have a slight undertone of blue, whereas the iPhone 12 is a bit more green, has a bit more saturation in the green. If we look at the middle top right, we can actually see the Pixel 5 has got better detail in the flowers here. It kept the crinkles, which are a lot crisper, but are a bit softer on the iPhone 12. Also in the top left, you can see the white flower in the iPhone 12 Pro is a bit too overexposed. The Pixel 5 has kept the colours down a bit better. It's hard here to really pick a winner. They're both really nice. I think the iPhone has done a good job at keeping the colours really nice. The only thing that's kind of putting me off is the slight overexposure of some areas of the image. And a night mode photo of the flowers. The iPhone 12 has definitely got more colour to the image. If we take a look in the back, you can see the details on the flowers are a lot more crisp on the iPhone 12 than they are on the Pixel 5. I think this is a win for the iPhone 12. This one was a good test to see how the portrait worked with night mode on. You can see the iPhone 12 Pro keeps the frame, whereas the Pixel 5 crops in a bit more. Zooming in on Kane's top here, we can see there are some sort of red purpley colourings in the grey areas, but in the Pixel they aren't there. It's just got the grey. I would have thought this would come from a warm street light, but the area we were in was just white lights. The edge detection on the Pixel 5 I think is a bit off. It's blurring out parts of the hat, bits of Kane's hair, whereas the iPhone 12 actually did a lot better cutting around the edge, probably because there's the LiDAR scanner to help out. Again here the Pixel 5 looks more contrasty, whereas the iPhone 12 is pulling out some more light in the shadows. These are just the default settings, and the blur in the Pixel 5 is a lot heavier than it is on the iPhone 12. I think both look really nice. The detail seems to be a bit better on the iPhone 12 when you're looking at Kane's face. You can see, even though it's zoomed out a bit more, I feel like you see a bit more of his stubble, a bit more details, definitions in his face compared to the Pixel 5. So I'm going to give this one to the iPhone 12 again. This was just a simple test shot to see how the flaring works on both phones. The iPhone 12 Pro has given it a bit more of a white flare, whereas the Pixel 5 has got more of a purpley kind of flare. The colours of the sign are slightly different too. The iPhone 12 Pro has the sign in a bit lighter colour, a bit more bluey, but the Pixel 5 has it a bit more orangey. So I think the Pixel 5 here actually pulled together with the contrast a bit better, keeping the detail lit up a bit too much. Here's an example of the front-facing camera on both phones. Personally, and this is personal preference, I think it look a bit better on the right. I feel like there's more detail around my eye, it's a bit more defined. The blacks are a bit blacker, more contrasty. The detail in my stubble is a bit more defined. Whereas the iPhone 12 Pro has kind of softened the image up a bit more. And if we take a look in the tree in the left, it's quite blurry and the sky's really like fuzzy. The sky in the Pixel 5 is a lot cleaner and the tree has a lot more detail, so the Pixel 5 wins this one. A beautiful shot of the river down by Temple Meads. We can see the running theme is the iPhone 12 is still having a warmer coloured image and the Pixel 5 is more bluey tones. Both I think have done really well here. The only major difference I can see here is that if you look at the sky, the iPhone 12 actually has a couple of stars in there, which the Pixel 5 didn't pick up. So it's very tough, but ever so slightly, the iPhone 12 I think takes this one. And a standard shot from my balcony here, we can see the train station. This is just a normal photo without any night mode. We can see some stars have been picked up on the top left here. There seems to be more detail on the iPhone 12, especially in the grass and on the brickwork here. And if you look in the back, there's a lot of noise in the sky on the Pixel 5, but it's cleaner on the iPhone 12. And a shot with night mode from the exact same location. The sky's a bit purplier on the Pixel 5, and the sky on the iPhone 12 is a bit bluer and blacker. I think the iPhone 12 has done better handling noise in the sky. It's ever so slightly more grainy on the Pixel 5. The Pixel 5 has definitely got a lot more detail in the grass here than it did in the previous photo. Again with the light bluey tones. You can see on the Pixel 5 the train is smudged. This was due to night mode taking a bunch of photos and sticking them together. They're both very, very good here. It's hard to pick a winner. I'd be happy with either one of these photos.
So we've waited until nighttime because now we are going to do some night sight portraits. We're going to try portrait mode with night sight, which is a new feature that we have now, which I'm super excited about. And we have this really beautiful location where we can see the Harbour Bridge. I already took like a test shot. So the first thing that I want to do is some handheld night sight photos. So I'm going to switch it over to 2x zoom because the Harbour Bridge is a little bit far away and I want it to fill the frame some more. So we'll see how handheld goes with 2x zoom. So we tried out our handheld shots. Now I want to put the camera on the tripod to trigger the astrophotography mode of the camera. And we'll see how different those handheld versus astro photos look side by side. That would have been a really cool astro shot, but we just had a ferry drive straight through our shot, so it's all like blurred, long exposure in the photo. Let's try another one. So I'm currently using a free app called Starwalk 2, and you can basically just point the phone in the direction of the sky to be able to see the Milky Way. I can see the Milky Way with my naked eye, but when it comes to putting your phone on a tripod, this makes it a lot easier, so you kind of already have a good idea of where to point your camera to be able to get a night shot, because otherwise, just when you're looking at the camera app, it's all just black. So I'm going to kind of point it that way. If you want to get some astro shots, I would also recommend to go somewhere without any light pollution. This is filmed on the Sony a7S III, so don't be fooled. It is like pitch black out here right now. And that's where you're going to get the best results for the astrophotography. Okay, so I'll open up my camera, switch it to night sight, And then you'll see a little pop-up that says astrophotography on. And once that's on, you can press the shutter. And it will take usually about 4 minutes to take the exposure and stitch it all together. Yeah, so now we wait. Oh my gosh. That never fails to impress me, you guys.
That actually looks awesome for a night portrait. And as you can see, it's pretty sharp still. Did a decent job with the hair. There's some glitchy stuff. I'm kind of giving this a pass and a little bit of forgiveness because I feel like night portrait mode still needs a little bit of work, but from what I'm seeing, it's actually pretty cool. This is also another shot I love. She's looking into the window of a building. The only thing that's annoying is there's like pink light on her face and on her hair from the neon sign in the window. So to me, this image would actually look really nice in black and white. So we're going to edit this shot. And I'm just going to pull the saturation down on it. And I might bump the contrast up a bit. And to me, that looks amazing. To me, that's getting really close to like a real DSLR shot. The bokeh looks pretty legit in this. There's obviously some glitches around the hair again, but from zoomed out like this, when you're zoomed out like this looks really good. And I might even post this on Instagram just because I think it's a decent shot. And yeah, this is kind of the power of portrait night mode. You could never take a shot like this before. To me, this isn't bad. If we zoom in here, you can still see some of the light through the hair. Obviously, it's getting kind of soft. There's a little bit of noise in the image, which I don't hate. I actually like noise. If you watch my Pro Raw video, I talked about how I feel like Apple does way too much noise reduction. And to me, this isn't bad. There's a little bit of noise in the blacks and the shadows. And this shot looks really good. This shot would also look really nice edited. So I took a couple more shots here. Again, this exposed really nice. To me, there's nothing wrong with this image. Maybe the hair has a little bit of problems in the back here, but again, that's kind of been what we've noticed on all these shots. And this was another shot that had really nice light. We had a street light above her and I had some light behind, and this actually looks really cool. This shot would also look really good edited, so I'm just gonna pop it in the Lightroom.
Statue thing, and right off the bat, Pixel grabs my eye. It's brighter. They're both in the same lighting conditions, but look how much cleaner the Pixel looks. And of course, that edge detection is awesome. You can just clearly see the cutout at the top, whereas with the iPhone, it's a bit blurred. So of course, you can take these nighttime portraits with people as well. And with this one, I feel like we also have a clear winner. Got my little cousin Carl over here, and I'd still take the Pixel shot over it because it just looks a lot cleaner. While the iPhone, you can see that there's trees in the background. It's not just completely black. You can see a bit more. There's more detail and more lighting available, but it doesn't look as clean. If we zoom in just a bit on Carl's face, you can see that the iPhone, I think it brought the ISO maybe a little bit too high, a lot of processing. I don't know what it did, but he looks pretty cartoonish. Pixel definitely crushed the blacks, but overall, this is a much cleaner image, and I'm sure he would post this Pixel image way before he would post the iPhone's image. Now to finish off talking about photos at night, got a picture of my baby Kilua over here, and right off the bat, just kind of looking at these, my eyes are gravitating towards the Pixel shot. I think the Pixel is doing a pretty good job with adding those cool tones while still dealing with the street lights. So overall, I'm definitely leaning towards Pixel over here. But something that's pretty interesting is that we're seeing a lot more flaring from the lights in the background from the Pixel, whereas with the iPhone, it looks like it's a bit more controlled. Both of these phones are no slouch when it comes to those night shots though, but definitely do think that the Pixel has the leg up.
Now, this new feature. Next, let's talk about night mode. It's super handy when you're in the lower light situations. So in the camera app, slide it all the way to the end and hit night shift. It automatically detects the light situation for you and how long the exposure should be. It's available in the wide lens, the normal lens, and zoom. It's also available in the front cam too, which is a new feature on the Pixel 5. With night mode, if you hit the settings, you can bring up astro options. So as you can see here, there's an astro function. We out here
With the boys.
You can't see anything. There's Julianos, and then the other guys over there. Yeah. Had a few views, eh? We're shooting astro. I'm gonna shoot some astro mode with the Pixel 5. There's heaps of stars. You can't see shit, but I'll take some photo samples with the Pixel 5. Got a little phone holder. That's the Pixel 5 on a tripod. And then, yeah. Alright, so you're in the camera app, and then you go to night shift, and it should go from a moon to stars. That means astro mode is on. Yeah, you just aim it at the stars and shoot, eh? For astro, the focus is important because the stars are so far away. I would suggest you set this manually. So bring up the options, there's near and there's far. So astrophotography, since the stars are literally the furthest away you can actually get, don't let the camera decide, because in low light situations sometimes it can't figure out what's going on. So go to the settings and click the far option for focus. Taken 4 minutes, gives you a little timer, tells you to keep still, and I think it takes a 15-second exposure in brackets, I think, and then we'll do this like AI thing to kind of clean it up. It's cool that it shows you a preview of what's going on. 2, 1. These are the results straight out of camera, no edit. Pretty insane, hey? It's pretty crazy that a tiny little Pixel 5 can shoot astro photos like this. All you really need are clear skies, a tripod, and 4 minutes. It does take a few tries, however, as not all the images come out clean. This one's a bit muddy, for example. Here's a quick color grade just to show you how it looks edited. So that about wraps it up.